Live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time it is, for you. Good that time of day for you. But, welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I am, of course, A.O. Xander. You viewer, you, and we will be joined by the Golden Loon here shortly, soonly, something. Anyway, this show is about interesting and important events that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. We have a 31-page document to go through today, so not that bad. Anyway, on with the show. Starting in 332, Roman Emperor Constantine the Great instituted free daily bread rations in Constantinople. That almost sounds like communism, does it not? Free daily bread rations?
Yeah.
Like, unless they're in a state of war. But, I don't know. 872, Louis II of Italy was crowned for the second time as Holy Roman Emperor at Rome at the age of 47. His first coronation was 28 years earlier in 844 during the reign of his father, Lothair I. Okay. 1096, before we continue, though, I just want to say welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thank you, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Yep.
1096 here, Crusaders massacred Jews of Worms. Worms being like a city or something, because we've had the Edict of Worms and all that stuff. So this is like a city in like Germany or whatever.
Okay.
Now the other source, it says during the First Crusade, around 800 Jews were massacred in Worms, Germany. So yeah, I was right. It was in Germany.
Yeah.
1268, the Principality of Antioch, a Crusader state, fell to the Mamluk Sultan Baybars in the Battle of Antioch. 1291, after 100 years of Crusader control, the last Crusader stronghold of Acre was reconquered and destroyed by the Mamluks under Sultan al-Ashraf Khalil. Okay. Yeah, it's the Islamists and everything coming in, and like very much like how the Christians took over all the Jewish lands, the Islamists came and took over all the Christian lands that they had conquered. So... 1302, Bruges Matins, the nocturnal massacre of the French garrison in Bruges by the members of the local Flemish militia. 1388, during the Battle of Boyer Lake, General Lan Yu led a Ming army forward to crush the Mongol hordes of Toghis Timur, the Khan of Northern Yan. The Khan of Yan. So the Yan Khan. 1565, Turkish Armada arrived to begin the Great Siege of Malta. We spoke about this a while ago, aiming to establish the island as their gateway for the conquest of Europe. So they wanted to become a Mediterranean power, and once they got a somewhat centralized location, it's kind of difficult to see with this photo. This is, of course, a painting and everything, but it looks like these are all cannons or something, and these are all the various islands of Malta connected by the... It's the invasion, essentially, it looks like. So, anyway, what else we got here? 1593, playwright Thomas Kidd's accusations of heresy led to an arrest warrant for Christopher Marlowe.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, yikes. 1596, Dutch explorer William Barents set off from Amsterdam on his third expedition to try to find a northwest passage through the Arctic. And there's a lot of attempts to find that passage. 1619, Dutch jurist and scholar Hugo Grotius was sentenced to life in prison in Loevestein Castle in the Netherlands. He later escaped in a book chest. I think we covered that earlier this year. I remember somebody escaping in a book chest.
Yeah.
Might have been somebody else, but I mean, there's not really many documentations of escapes via book chest to my knowledge.
No.
So, 1631, English colony Massachusetts Bay granted Puritan voting rights. Okay. 1631 as well, John Winthrop was elected the first governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony.
Oh.
Yeah. And he also apparently took the oath of office, according to the other source here. 1642, Ville Marie, later Montreal, Canada, founded by the Société Notre-Dame de Montréal, led by Paul de Chaumedet. So, Montreal, Canada.
Yeah.
1652, Rhode Island enacted the first law declaring slavery illegal, although the law was not rigorously enforced, unfortunately, according to other source. 1695, the 1695 Linfen earthquake in Sanzi, Qing Dynasty, caused extreme damage and killed at least 52,000 people.
Jeez.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
1703, Dutch and English troops occupied Cologne, probably because it smelled good, like, who doesn't...
No doubt, yeah.
I mean, unless it smelled like the perfume department, at a mall, if you remember how that used to be. Like, back in the day, when people actually used to go out and go to the malls and everything to shop.
Yeah.
You go to, like, Macy's or whatever, you stray too close to perfume aisle, all of a sudden you're onslaughted, like, just like a bombardment of fragrance. Like, help, I'm drowning and good. Anyway, 1756, Great Britain declared war on France at the start of the 7 Years' War. And in 1765, a fire destroyed a large part of Montreal, Quebec. Didn't we just talk about Montreal? Yeah, we did. So that's
that was
interesting.
The founding of Montreal.
Yeah, but then we have the destruction of a large part of it. So that's kind of interesting. It's on the same calendar date, years apart.
Yeah.
1783, First United Empire Loyalists reached Parrtown, later called St. John, New Brunswick. I hear they have weird coins over there. Of course, in Canada, after leaving the United States. Okay, so there's an exodus, it sounds like. 1794, Battle of Turinquing, French Republican Army defeated a Habsburg coalition coalition Bear-Lille. Right here. I think that's supposed to be near. Yeah, because B is right next to N. So, near Lille in France during the War of the First Coalition. All right. In 1800 now, 1803, the Peace of Amiens between French Republic and Great Britain ended as Britain declared war on France due to France's imperialist policies in the West Indies, Italy, and Switzerland. Ooh. So the UK revoked the Treaty of Amiens and declared war on France, according to other sources. Wow. 1804, Napoleon Bonaparte was proclaimed Emperor of France by the French Senate. 1811, Battle of Las Piedras, the first great military triumph of the Revolution of the Rio de la Plata in Uruguay, led by Jose Artigas. Okay. 1 year later, we have John Bellingham, a Liverpool merchant who assassinated British Prime Minister Spencer Perceval on May 11th, was hung for the crime at the Old Bailey in London. Yikes. 4 years later, 1816. Now this is weird. Famous dandy, like what is he? Like like a limp wrist or something? Like famous dandy Bew Brummel fled to France to escape a gambling debt. He never returned, dying in France in 1840. It even says here a dandy. What's a dandy?
A dandy, someone that's dresses all fancy and.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of it, I guess.
Well, I mean, like he has like a whole bunch of crap, around his neck right there. So. Anyway, 1830, Edwin Budding of England signed an agreement for the manufacture of his invention, the lawnmower. And I love how the primary source, Saturdays are ruined forever. It says on the primary source.
Yeah.
But yeah, and here's an image of it. Now, what's interesting is that it looks like it gathers all your clippings in this front bin here.
Yeah.
So I guess like when you're done, you have to somehow... Or maybe you can remove the bin for an easier dumpage.
And then dump it, yeah.
I'd hate to have to like lift the entire mechanism.
No, that's not going to work.
That's heavy, it looks like. It's all metal. What else we got here? 1843. Actually, before that, I'm going to image search this because it's telling me to image search that. There might be a picture with... wait a minute. Hold on a second. What is going on with all these icons? I want images. Here we go. Nope, it's just that same one. Wow, look at this thing.
Holy cow!
Like that's a whole drivetrain and everything. Look at that thing. That's enormous. Good Lord. Grief. He has a smoking pipe, of course. Oh, wow. What else do we got here? 1843, United Free Church of Scotland formed. According to other sources, the disruption in Edinburgh of the Free Church of Scotland from the Church of Scotland. Okay. 1848, opening of the first German National Assembly, Nationalversammlung in Frankfurt, Germany. I know I didn't pronounce that right. Crane's probably over there like, Xander, stop trying to pronounce my language. 1851, Amsterdam Neo-Junior Telegraph Connection linked. So, starting for communications. 1852, Massachusetts ruled all school-age children must attend school. That makes sense. 1852 as well. 1860, U.S. Republican Party nominated Abraham Lincoln for president. We covered this yesterday. From the other source, it says U.S. presidential election, Abraham Lincoln won the Republican Party presidential nomination over William H. Seward, who later became the United States Secretary of State. So he stayed in the business. 1863, U.S. General Ulysses S. Grant began the siege on Vicksburg in Mississippi. After 47 days of battle siege, Confederate Lieutenant General John C. Pendleton's troops will surrender. Yep. 1869, Robert Tanner Freeman was the first black Canadian to graduate from Harvard Dental School. Excellent. Dentistry, people don't realize that that industry has a very high rate of self-deletions.
Yeah?
Well, because, it plays on the psyche. Nobody likes going to you. People fear you because, it's painful.
Yeah.
And everything. And I was told this from some random person, so, it might be all BS, but it made sense to me, at the time and still today. Just, like day in, day out, your entire day, you're just causing pain to people. I mean, at the end of the day, you're helping them. But nobody likes causing pain, even if you know that, at the end it's going to be a good outcome.
True.
It's still, it tugs at you. And there's a high rate, apparently, of self-deletions in that field. At least at the time I was told that there was. Scanning for comments, no comments. Actually, this wasn't loaded right. Okay, there we go. Moving on up. 1869, surrender and dissolution of the Ezo Republic in Japan. Okay. 1871, Warren Wagon Train raid. Native American, Comanche, and Kiowa warriors attacked a corn train led by Henry Warren near Graham, Texas, killing 7 wagoners. William T. Sherman pursued and captured 3 leaders, Satanta, the white bear, Satanuk, sitting bear, and Ado Eta, big tree. Huh. So, those were, of course, the names of the natives who were caught and everything.
Right.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna pause this because I don't need to see it producing live. Oh yeah, here we go. So this is what I was hoping to find. The Warren Wagon Train Raid. Hold on a second. Can I bigger this? No, I can't. Okay. Well, it says here May 18th, 1871, the Sherman was while Sherman was at Fort Richardson at Jacksboro, they attacked a wagon train traveling along the same route Sherman had taken the day before. In the attack near Salt Creek, the Native Americans killed 7 people, though 5 escaped. The attackers then returned to the reservation with captured mules and supplies. Henry Warren owned the wagon train, so the encounter would become known as the Warren Wagon Train Raid or Massacre. So, happened, where was it? This map is too small to read. So
somewhere in Texas.
Yeah. Where else are we? Where is it? Here we go. 1880, we have the 6th Kentucky Derby. George Garrett Lewis aboard Fosno won in 2 minutes, 37.5 seconds. Race run in estimated 5-inch deep dust. Wow. Huh. So, 5 inches, about this.
Yeah, very loose dirt.
That's very deep dust. 1887, Emmanuel Charvier's opera, Leo Ray Marguerite Louis, King in Spite of Himself, premiered at the Opera Comique in Paris. After 3 performances, the theater burned down.
Ooh.
So,
someone didn't like what's going on.
Well, by the name, it almost sounds like it's another, aggression towards Christianity, like making fun of God, the King of Kings, as they say, and all that stuff. King in Spite of Himself, I don't know. It sounds like a slam. In some way or another. I don't know if it's about God or just some other king or what, but yeah. 1896, Kolyanga tragedy, a stampeding crowd on Kolyanga Field, Moscow, during the coronation festivities for Russian Tsar Nicholas II, caused the deaths of about 1,300 to 1,389 people, according to a secondary source. Says that. That's horrifying. Can you imagine at the swearing in or whatever of the president?
Yeah.
Some crazy thing happened and over 1,000 people died, and we have here. This is an artist's interpretation. This is a painting, but this is what they saw. That's a field, an entire legion of people out there. So that's scary. 1896, U.S. Supreme Court affirmed legitimacy of racial separation in Plessy versus Ferguson, a doctrine that came to be known as separate but equal. They ruled that it was constitutional. Horrifying.
I think that's obviously been changed.
Yeah, I hope so. So, yeah. 1897, Henry Dow founded Dow Chemical in Midland, Michigan. Dow Chemical.
Yeah.
We also have Irish Music Festival, first held in Dublin. 1897 as well, New York Giants third baseman Bill Joyce became last player in baseball history to hit 4 triples in a game as Giants defeated Pittsburgh Pirates 11-5 at Exposition Park.
Wow, that's really unusual.
So, like, is it even still possible, or is it because they changed the rules or something as to why that he was the last one? Because it's
just
been
has 4 triples in one game. First off, to get up to bat 4 times.
Yeah.
I mean, you may hit 4 triples in a season. Triple is, you get more home runs than a triple.
Okay. Oh, triple is like, when the base is loaded, right? Or
no, that means you got to third base.
Oh, okay.
In other words, you hit it in a place of the park where it's wide open, and you got all the way around. You got past second, which is a double, and you got to third on a triple.
Okay.
So 4 triples in one game. You hit maybe 4 triples in a year.
Yeah. Okay. 1897, Paul Dukas Symphonic Siguro, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, used in Disney's Fantasia film, premiered based on a poem by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. So it was like the beginning and the end when Mickey was the little wizard guy with the brooms and everything.
The water. And all.
Yeah. 1899, World Goodwill Day. 26 nations met at the first Hague Peace Conference. Hague. I can never pronounce it right. Hague, okay. 1900, Britain, also known as the United Kingdom, proclaimed a protectorate over the Kingdom of Tonga. 4 years later in Morocco, a brigand, Raizuli, kidnapped Ian H. Perdicarius, a U.S. citizen. So, I mean, like, we're not immune to being kidnapped and everything. It's just that our country's so powerful, it's not a wise decision to do anything to a U.S. citizen.
Well, we weren't that powerful in 1904 or whatever it is.
True, but we weren't something to shake a stick at either.
No.
So, 1912, Maurits Bringer established 2 Dutch movie companies. It's pretty cool. 1912 as well, Philadelphia Athletics rout Detroit Tigers 24-2, so it's even worse. At Scheid Park, Tigers used amateur players in protest of Tykov's suspension from the game. Wow. 1912 as well, we have the first Indian film, Shri Pundalik, by Dad Sahib Torn, was released in Mumbai. That's pretty cool. So the first Indian film. And here's a screen cap of it right here.
I wonder if it was Bollywood then.
I don't know when.
It would be.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Bollywood is the entirety of the Indian film industry or if that's just a specific sect of it. Because I don't think the Indian film industry is that small. Or maybe, I don't know.
Hollywood isn't the entirety of the film industry here.
Well, no, it's not.
It's a place that they do movies.
Yeah.
That's why
the
name Bollywood.
Well, no, like, I don't think it's an actual place. I think it's a play off of Hollywood.
Maybe.
It's Indians, Hollywood, and everything, but Bollywood, at least to my knowledge, is very stereotypical of ignoring physics. Like there's whenever you search like on like here, I'll just look it up here to provide an example on YouTube. Bollywood scene. I'm not putting in any movie name, any thing. It just tells me like illogical fight scenes and everything. Like. There's this.
Well, these are movies made in.
Yes, no, they're Indian movies.
Bali.
Oh, they're made in Bali.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe that's why. I don't know. I always thought it was just Indian, play on words of Hollywood.
It is.
But it's Bollywood.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, we got to get back on the history here. Where were we? 1916, a British royal inquiry into the Easter Rising in Dublin was set up in London. Spoke about that Easter Rising quite a bit here. 1917 as well, first units of the U.S. Expeditionary Force, commanded by General John J. Persing, was ordered to France. And if I had gone to Jingleheimer Smith, like, that's my name too, man. You know. So, we also have U.S. Congress pass the Selective Service Act, authorizing the federal government to raise a national army for the U.S. entry into World War I through compulsory enlistment. Also giving the president, the U.S., the power of conscription. Well, I mean,
it was really powerful in the Vietnam War.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, they need bodies for the meat grinder, unfortunately. 1918, TNT explosion in a chemical factory in Oakdale, Pennsylvania, killed 200 people. Yikes. 22, Dutch Second Chamber agreed a 48-hour work week was 45 hours. So they got 3 more hours a week. That's
they upped it?
Yeah, well, you know, more pay. So 22, Seamus Woods led an Irish Republican Army attack on the headquarters of the Royal Irish Conservatory in Belfast.
Shameless.
Seamus, yeah. 1 century ago, 1926, evangelist Arnie Semple McPherson vanished in Venice, California. She showed up a month later saying she was kidnapped. All right, that was written weirdly. So.
Yeah.
1927, Bath school disaster. Andrew Keogh blew up Bath Consolidated School, killing 38 children, 2 teachers at Bath, Michigan. So it was a disgruntled school board member. Multiple bombs. So it says plural bombs.
Yeah.
So, yikes. 27, Grauman's Chinese Theater opened in Hollywood, California. So Sid Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. Yep. Yeah. It was a stage. It opened with a stage production, followed by the world premiere of Cecil B. DeMille's silent film epic King of Kings.
Yeah, he was a big Hollywood producer.
27 as well. One of the largest known fast-moving landslides formed Lower Slide Lake in Gross Venture, Wyoming. So they formed a lake. I'm going to look this up here really quick. See if they have a before and after photograph. Let's see here, images. I don't like that they added AI to this. Okay, I see. So right here you can see that there's a river, and the river continues here, and then all this slid down here, and then it blocked the river. Yeah. Well, the river's still flowing, but it's a lot wider over here. You know, it's higher up over here than it is over here. So that's crazy. Formed a lake. What else we got here? 27 as well. The Ritz. Opened in Boston, Massachusetts. And we have, after being founded for 20 years, the nationalist government approved Tongji University to be among the first national universities. You know, of its own things. This was written weird. 29 as well, MLB record 50 runs for a doubleheader. Brooklyn Robins defeated Philadelphia Phillies 20-16 in the first game. Phillies won 8-6 in the nightcap at the Baker Bowl in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 50 runs, that sounds like a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot. It's a doubleheader, but it's still a lot of runs.
Yeah. 33, around 5,000 forced deportees in the Soviet Union arrived on Nazino Island within 13 weeks. Most of them will be dead due to disease, cannibalism, and violence. Horrifying. We also have Tennessee Valley Act, the TVA, signed by FDR to build dams. So the Tennessee Valley Authority, Tennessee Valley Act. 34, Trans World Airlines, the TWA, began commercial service. 6 years later, during World War II, German troops conquered Antwerp in Belgium. 365 days later, after that, the Italian army in Ethiopia under General Aosta surrendered to Britain. So they had occupied it. Italy had just taken Ethiopia right before the outbreak of the Second World War. So, 42, New York City ended night baseball games for the rest of the Second World War. That makes sense. You don't want those bright lights. That's a target.
Yeah.
So, 44, expulsion of more than 200,000 Tartars from Crimea by Soviet Union began. They were accused of collaborating with the Germans. So, and that brings the whole, Tartarian, the Tartars, the Prussians, all sorts of conspiracies involving all of that. The Polish Second Army in 1944 as well, the Polish Second Army Corps captured the convent of Monte Cassino. So during the Battle of Monte Cassino, conclusion after 7 days of the fourth battle, as German paratroopers evacuated Monte Cassino. 45, MLB Detroit Tigers and Philadelphia A's both have 7 straight games postponed due to rain. Dang. Loons time.
Hey,
1 year
here we
after
go.
it, in 47, MLB Philadelphia A's catcher Warren Rosar caught his 147th game without an error.
Oh,
That's pretty good, yeah. 48, Saudi Arabia joined the invasion of Israel. Yikes. 48 as well, the first legislative yuan of the Republic of China officially convened in Nanking. 1 year after that, 49, Antiquarian Booksellers Association of America Incorporated. So, antique books and everything. Maybe I should contact them because I have like that really old history book from like the like 1930s or whatever. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Like it only went up to like 26 presidents or something like that. It was very old. 1950 MLB St. Louis Cardinals baseman Tommy Gagliano made 3 consecutive errors on grounders.
Whoops.
51 U.S. General Collins predicted the use of atom bomb in Korea. What? No, he didn't.
He predicted.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it happened. In other words, the atom bomb was used against China. Now they're saying they're going to use it against Korea. This guy.
Oh, okay. Well. 53 U.S. Stadian Jacqueline Cochrane became the first woman to break the sound barrier at the age of 47. Nice. 1955, Operation Passage to Freedom. The evacuation of 310,000 Vietnamese civilians, soldiers, and non-Vietnamese members of the French Army from Communist North Vietnam to South Vietnam following the end of the First Indochina War ended. So they were evacuating north into south.
Yeah.
And because that was French Indochina, that was all their stuff and everything, and that's why we got roped into it because of the French. That was a French colony.
Yeah.
And all this Vietnam stuff started happening in 55, but it happened a lot earlier than that. Really, like I think it was
But not
like
with us.
No. I'm talking about with the French.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I think it happened in 46, maybe even earlier, because that would make sense. Because up until then, France was occupied by another country. So if your host country is itself occupied, why do you still answer to them?
Yeah.
So I think that's the start of it all. 1956, Mickey Mantle hit a home run from both sides of plate for record 3rd time. Dang. So ambidextrous batter.
Called a switch hitter.
I can't do that.
Nor can I.
Yeah. 1960, Ellen Fulton began playing Lisa on As the World Turns for almost 30 years.
Jeez.
That's some good job security there. 62, the French government and representatives of the Provisional Government of the Algerian Republic reached a settlement to end the Algerian War and the Evian Accords. Water? Like, isn't Evian like a brand of water?
Yeah.
So, 63, If You Want to Be Happy by Jimmy Soul hit number 1. Does that ring any bells?
Somewhere does, yeah.
Okay.
Can't quite place it, but it's something. Be happy.
Well, that's a different song.
That is?
I think.
Okay.
Don't worry, be happy
Yeah,
now.
that's what I'm thinking.
You know what?
Is that a different one?
I don't know. I'll look it up because somebody put that song in my head the other day. So let's see if this is it.
Oh, is that? Oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember this song.
Yeah.
I've heard it. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I'm gonna. I remember that from like an old Flash cartoon or something. It was such a funny scene. Anyway, 1964, U.S. Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional to deprive naturalized citizens of citizenship if they return to the home country for more than 3 years. Okay, that makes sense. 1 year after that, U.S. engineer Ray Dolby founded Dolby Laboratories in London, England. Dolby Digital Surround and all that stuff.
Dolby Sound and all that.
Yep. Well, 1965 as well, Gene Roddenberry suggested 16 names for Star Trek captain. One of them was Kirk. They included that name, Kirk. So, but 16 potential names and everything. We also now have Picard and various other captains since then. 65, Israeli spy Eli Cohen was hanged in Damascus, Syria. What was Israel doing spying on their neighbors? It's a little suspicious. '67, silver hit a record $1.60 an ounce in London. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
What's it today?
About $80.
Oh, that's not bad. 67, Tennessee Governor Ellington approved repeal of the Butler Act, or the Monkey Law, prohibiting the teaching of evolution, upheld in the 1925 Scopes trial. So this is teaching evolution and all that stuff, and but now it's gone the other way. Now they don't even allow you to teach creationism. Although they with that they utilize separation of church and state, which I'm not sure is a law. Is it a law? Like the separation of church and state?
No, I don't. No, I don't know.
Because the public schools are public.
Yeah.
And you can't teach church things in there because church and states. Yeah. But at the same time, like now you're depriving the public. Although the public can send them to Christian schools if they want, but wouldn't that cost money?
Yeah, usually.
So what if they don't have the money to afford that?
Then you send them to a public school.
So now because of
or a lot of times if you can't afford it, Christian schools will pay the tab for you. If you can afford it, then you pay.
I just don't like the idea that the very same system that's causing the financial disparity to the people who can't afford potentially going to Christian school are being mandated by the same people by law to go to the school, and they have no choice but to go to the government school that's run by the same people who create the problem to begin with.
Well, you're kind of looping there. I don't quite agree with that.
Well, it's self-serving. We
have a system to educate all children. So it's going to lack some things.
Yeah, well, we spoke
then you
about
have
this.
a choice, if you want to send them somewhere else. Doesn't have to be a Christian school.
Well, no,
there
but
are military schools if you want to send your children to. There's lots of different schools.
Well, military school's even worse.
No, because for who?
Well, no, it's worse than normal school because, like, if you're the whole period of getting out of government-sponsored schools is not to get into an even more government-sponsored school, military school.
Well, no, a military school can be private. It's just military-based. It's going to teach you all the basic stuff.
So wouldn't it have to be affiliated with the military to use stuff like that?
No.
Like,
no. Not at all.
I mean, like, I don't know if there's proprietary boot camp training or something. I don't know how far copyright law goes. So anyway, 1968, Frank Howard tied American League record with home run in his 6th consecutive game. It is 10 home runs in the most with 6 games. 69, Apollo 10 launched from Kennedy Space Center and later transmitted the first live color television pictures of Earth from space. I gotta take a look at this to see if it even is. Okay.
The planet is a beautiful planet from looking at space.
Yeah, it is. Let's see images. I guess this is a still from it.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
1971, the Bulgarian Constitution came into effect. Okay. 71 as well. U.S. President Richard Nixon rejected 60 demands of Congressional Black Caucus. I'm not a crook. You're not a really loose with the job. So, 71, vampire. Now this is weird, okay? Pardon my language, but this is in the article. Vampire rapist, Wayne Bowden's last victim, found in Calgary, Alberta. What the fuck is a vampire rapist? Is it a vampire that rapes people or somebody who specifically rapes vampires? What? Help! Somebody explain.
Yeah.
And speaking of explain, I'm looking for comments here. If there's any comments, no comments. Let us know in the comment section what you think a vampire rapist is, because I am befuddled with this. Humor aside, somebody's dead. They found the body, so this is a serious thing. Moving on to 1972, Me and the Chimp, a U.S. TV sitcom last aired on CBS in the U.S. 72, U.S. baseball player John Sebastian made 63 consecutive free throws while blindfolded. Well, basketball, sorry, not baseball.
Okay. Yeah,
basketball. I was just like, wait a minute, free throws in baseball, what? Basketball. We also have U.S. pop rock band Looking Glass release their single Brandy. I guess the brandy glass is a looking glass. If you have whiskey
Brandy.
glasses. Oh.
The girl's name is Brandy.
Yeah. Oh. And I only put that in there because I wondered if you knew of that song or anything like that. Okay. 74, India became the 6th nation to detonate a atomic bomb. Mm-hmm. And, the project name is weird. Nuclear weapons testing, if according to other source here, under the project Smiling Buddha, India, trying to say Italy and India at the same time, India successfully detonated its first nuclear weapon, becoming the 6th nation to do so. Smiling Buddha? I don't think Buddha will be smiling, seeing such destructive potential occurring by his people. I don't know. 74, Nigeria announced 55% government participation in all oil concessions. Okay. 77, U.S., USSR, and other nations signed the Environmental Modification Convention prohibiting weather warfare with widespread, long-lasting, or severe effects. Good. But, are we going to follow it, is the question. 1978, Italy legalized abortion.
Wow.
Yeah. In 78 as well, Russian dissident Yuri Orlov exiled to compulsory work. So that's a horrible fate right there. Now, 1980, a big one. The eruption of Mount St. Helens in Washington State triggered the largest landslide in history, killing 57 people and causing over $1 billion in damage. Other source says $3 billion. So, yeah, it's a big one.
Else, yeah.
So, yep. What else we got here? 1980, Gwangju massacre. Students in Gwangju, South Korea began demonstrations calling for democratic reforms. The People's Republic of China launched their first intercontinental rocket. Like, so it's a ballistic missile?
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's a weird way to put it, a rocket. Oh. 1980 as well, rioting spread to Miami's mostly black stadium neighborhoods of Overtown and Liberty City following the previous day's courthouse protests. Like rioting and burning down your own neighborhoods ain't going to solve anything. So, 82, Unification Church founder Reverend Sun Myung Moon convicted on tax evasion. Oh, how typical of these, large church people. 85, first remote location for ABC News Nightline, South Africa. So they were out of studio, I guess. 85, Murray Head's One Night in Bangkok. His single, written by Tim Rice and ABBA's Benny Andersson and Bjorn Ulvaeus, hit number 3 in the U.S. That's a good song. 86, Chung Kwon-ying did 2,750 atomic handstand push-ups. Do you know what an atomic handstand push-up is? Okay, so basically, it's the one where you're standing, straight up, right there, you see?
Oh my goodness.
So you're straight up.
Yeah.
Like you're standing but upside down. So he did 2,750 of those. And you're not supposed to be leaning against the wall. They're doing that for positioning, but you see here this guy he's doing it normally because you're usually at an angle.
I couldn't even do one.
Yeah, no, I can't even get into that position. So, kudos on those people. 1986, David Groch finished swimming 55,682 miles in a 25-yard pool. What?
How many laps is that?
Well...
You gotta divide it by 25, I guess.
Well, 25 yards, how many yards go into a mile? The math can be done, just not fast.
Yeah.
South African Army occupied Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Zambia. That's weird. AO's time! Except it's a year after, just like you. 88, and just Oakland's 39th of the season, pitcher Dave Stewart broke record with his 12th balk en route to 16. The balk is it's a screw up in the pitch, that's right.
Pitcher, yeah.
Yeah.
Starts his motion and stops, or comes off. There's a lot of technical rules for a balk.
Okay, so this is a bad record break.
Yeah, not good at all.
1990, Cubs Ryan Sandberg ended second baseman record 123 errorless game streak. That's really good. 1990, East Germany and West Germany signed a monetary union treaty effective July 1st. Excellent. We also have Edmonton right wing Jerry Curie set a record for scoring in a Stanley Cup Finals game with 3 goals and 2 assists in a 7-2 win at Boston Garden. 1990 as well. Judy Curran was arrested at JFK Airport on an 11-year-old drug warrant. So she was from the or he, I guess he or she, I don't know. Laughing comedian, I guess it's she because it's spelled like comedian, so it's weird. 1990 in France, a modified TGV train achieved a new rail world speed record of 515.3 kilometers an hour, which equates to 320.2 miles per hour. That thing, you can tell, like, look at its trail, it's zooming.
Yeah.
Like,
that just doesn't look like it's built for speed, though, does it?
No, it doesn't. Like, at all. And the first thing I thought was, like, that can't be the right train, but then the title said it was, so I was just like, okay, oh yeah, here it is. So that's that same train.
People sometimes wonder how fast a train really is capable of going. Well, the current world record for speed for a rail-based train is held by France's TGV, which in 2007 reached an insane speed of 574.8 kilometers per hour. That's 357.2 miles per hour.
So this is later.
It's also probably worth mentioning that...
So they're not actually going to show it looks like. No.
I was hoping they'd show it zipping by.
Yeah. 1991, Republic of Somaliland declared independence from Somalia. Okay. So 91 as well, the USSR launched 2 cosmonauts to the Mir space station. 365 days later, in 1992, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled states could not force mentally unstable criminals defendants to take antipsychotic drugs. Yeah. 93, Danish people voted in favor of ratifying the Maastricht Treaty. I'm going to look that up here really quick, so give me a moment to do a surface level scratch of this article. Yeah, Danish Maastricht Treaty referendum. So, is it going to tell me anything? No. It was the second attempt to ratify a Maastricht Treaty, yada yada. Granted Denmark 4 exceptions from... But what is the Maastricht... Okay. This ain't telling us anything. So, if anyone can let us know, I'll just click this. The Treaty on European Union, commonly known as the Maastricht Treaty, is the foundation treaty of the European... Okay. Okay, so basically the UN treaty. Well, why not just tell us that?
Yeah.
Like, what is a treaty? UN treaty? UN treaty? Question mark. Okay. Anyway, what else do we got here? 1993, Italian police arrested mafia boss Benedetto Nito Santapaola. Alright. Riots in Nuremberg, Copenhagen, caused by the approval of the 4 dangerous exceptions in the Maastricht Treaty referendum. Police opened fire against civilians for the first time since World War II and injured 11 demonstrators. Wow, so more about this Maastricht Treaty. We just covered that.
Yeah.
And now people are dead. Well, injured. So, that's terrible. 94, Israeli troops finished withdrawing from the Gaza Strip, ceding the area to the Palestinian National Authority to govern. After taking most of their land. 94, Tropical Butterfly Garden at Cleveland Metro Park Zoo in Ohio opened. Now, you remember that butterfly enclosure we went to when I was a kid?
Yeah.
It was very much like this. I looked this up for an image search, and I couldn't find anything really thumbnail-worthy. But, this looks really cool.
Yeah.
So, they have giraffes inside of, other enclosures, public greenhouse. So this is a whole thing. This would be cool to go to. Check out the giraffes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, what else we got here? 1995, Braveheart, directed by and starring Mel Gibson and Sophie Marceau, premiered at the Seattle Film Festival, later to receive the Best Picture of 1996. Now, this article is no longer on either source. So wherever I got it from, it's been moved or removed. So I don't know. And I wouldn't be surprised, because especially how the system does not like Mel Gibson, how he's turning out to be true and all that stuff. And and the whole thing about Braveheart is to stand up for yourself and freedom and all that stuff. Well, the system...
It's in Scotland, right?
Yeah. Well, the invasion of Scotland from England and all that stuff. And ultimately, Scotland is still to this day, they fell and they are now possession of England, unfortunately. But yeah, no, the idea behind that movie of standing up for what you believe in, and for fighting for freedom. Well, the world governments don't want any of that, so they're probably, this is probably erased. Like they don't, when they delete things from history, they don't do a whole thing. They do a gradual here, gradual there, and eventually it's just all washed away and nobody really notices. So that's one of the reasons why I'm keeping all this stuff, is because I've noticed so many things either moved or removed, changed, written in ways that suggested one way versus another. It's wild the amount of things I've seen. So. 98, United States versus Microsoft, Department of Justice and 20 states filed an antitrust case against Microsoft. We need that again. 2001, the 101-year-old Harold Stilson became the oldest golfer to record a hole-in-one when he aced the 108-yard par 3 16th hole at Deerfield Country Club in Florida. Excellent.
How old was he?
101.
Wow.
Yeah. Centenarian. 2001 as well, DreamWorks picture Shrek, starring Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz in voiceover roles, debuted. Now, Saudi Arabia selected the eight foreign companies to take part in its gas initiative, 3 core venture gas projects that have an anticipated worth of $25 billion. 2004, Arizona Diamondbacks Randy Johnson became the 16th pitcher to throw a perfect game, 2-0 versus Atlanta. 2005, a second photo from the Hubble Space Telescope confirmed that Pluto has 2 additional moons, Nix and Hydra. That's interesting. So I'm doing the image search.
Yeah.
I was looking for images for this, but I couldn't find anything really that would demonstrate what I wanted to show.
I said 2 additional moons. So
Additional
how many do they have? 3?
Well, here we go. Charon and the small moons of Pluto. So this is a portion of Charon here, but the 4 moons of Pluto are Styx, Nix, Cariros, and Hydra. Styx and Nix. So, but yeah, no, like it shows here short exposure, long exposure, and all that stuff on May 15th and May 18th. So that's how they figured it out. It's pretty cool. 2006, the post-Le Cordier and Dolan government passed a landmark bill curtailing the power of the monarchy and making Nepal a secular country. 2009, the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam were defeated by the Sri Lankan government, ending the Sri Lankan Civil War and almost 26 years of fighting between the two sides.
Great.
Yikes, yeah. The LTTE. 2010, police officer James Crooker was asked to leave the Red and Black Cafe in Portland, Oregon, after co-owner John Langley claimed Crooker's Crooker's uniformed.
Gotta be uniform.
Yeah, uniformed presence made him uncomfortable. Yeah, I was just saying that's not uninformed. No. So, yeah, uniform presence. So, seeing a cop in uniform makes you uncomfortable. Well, that kind of is suspicious.
Apparently, you have a problem.
Yeah. 2014, Swiss voters rejected a $25 per hour minimum wage. Yeah, because that makes everything more expensive.
Yeah.
And so, 2015...
automation.
Yeah. At least 78 people died in a landslide caused by heavy rains in the Colombian town of Salgar. Right, may you rest in peace. 2018, all of Chile's 34 Roman Catholic bishops offered their resignation to Pope Francis in wake of child sex scandal. Yikes, so the entirety of Chile. Jeez. 2018, Mexican Damojos Airlines flight crashed near Havana Airport in Cuba, killing 110 people with just 3 survivors. Now, other source says Cubana de Aviación Flight 902 crashed in Santiago de Las Vegas after taking off from Jose Marti International Airport in Havana, Cuba, killing 112 of the 113 people on board. So we have a discrepancy of the deaths. 3 survivors or 1? Or are these 2 different aircraft?
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, this is both Havana, Cuba.
Yeah.
So... Anyway, 2019 U.S. presidential election, Brandon threw his hat in the ring, launched his presidential campaign, unfortunately. And we have U.S. President Donald Trump in 2020 confirmed he is taking controversial drug hydroxychloroquine against Kung Flu.
Yeah.
And I only know this name, hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin work.
Yeah.
2020, World Health Yeah, the World Health Organization member states agreed to set up an inquiry into the global response to the pandemic, including looking at the WHO itself. Good. Take an introspective. 2022, amid a nationwide U.S. baby formula shortage, President Joe Biden invoked a Defense Production Act requiring suppliers to fulfill orders to baby formula manufacturers first. Now, here's a real evil thing involving baby formula that a lot of people don't understand, don't know what happened. Nestle, they went to Africa, and there's a bunch of the poor, impoverished areas and all that stuff, and they started giving baby formula to all the mothers and all that stuff. Now, they don't have clean water in Africa, so they just make do with that dirty ass water and all that stuff. Now, the problem is, if you break breastfeeding, I don't know the exact time, but after a few days or a week or so, the process stops because Now, what Nestle did, a lot of people would say that they did this intentionally to cause all this pain and anguish, but the dirty water mixed with the formula and everything, it was killing a bunch of kids because of the dirty water, parasites, and all that stuff. And a lot of the stuff, the breast milk things, as I said, dried up. So entire generations wiped in a brush stroke.
Never heard
and
of
Nestle did it.
I never heard of that.
You want to talk about something something racial? Look at Nestle. Oh man, the friggin' Bayer has ties to Nazi concentration camps. Bayer is a not Jewish, it's a German company, and they used Jews to experiment on and everything during the Holocaust. A lot of the companies people know and love have really, really dark histories that people got to be made aware of. So, 2024, 706 people called Kyle gathered in Kyle, Texas, attempting to break the record for a gathering of people with the same name. The record was 2,325 people named Ivan in 2017. So it did not break the record. But I wonder about the Josh War, and that's what this is. This is all the Kyles here. So they're all Kyle and all that stuff. But hold on a second. The Josh battle. I got a lot of people don't really remember this. I'm just going to play this.
It was a battle of a lifetime in Lincoln today. #JoshFight started as a pandemic joke, but instead turned into an event watched by thousands across the country. Reporter Yusuf Nasser takes us to Lincoln for the unusual Josh fight that brought people.
Yeah, I'm going to have the rest of this video in the underbar section, Josh fight. But yeah, it was hilarious. So I wonder if that broke the record or anything like that. Anyway, what else do we got here? 2024, Bayer Leverkusen became the first Bundesliga team in history to finish a German league season unbeaten after a 2-1 win at home against Augsburg. Bundesliga. What the hell is that? Hold on a second. It's where is it? There, that word. I'm gonna look this up here really quick. Bundesliga. Okay. It's a football league.
Yeah,
Okay.
we call it soccer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 2025 English rock band The Who announced the resignation of Zach Snarky, their drummer since 1996. Snarky claims that he did not quit but was fired, later revising that he instead had been retired. So, it sounds like fired to me. 2025 Papal inauguration mass of Pope Leo XIV was held at St. Peter's Square in Vatican City. And we also have Russia launched its largest attack on Ukraine since the beginning of the war with 273 drones. Now, can you believe that we still have 7 minutes till the hour?
Whoa, no
And we're done.
Wow.
So, yeah. That shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, and we can only bring you a portion, between 2 different sources. All of these 31 pages, we just went through this entire thing. I told you it wouldn't be that bad. It didn't even take a whole hour. It is up to you to find the artifacts of our history, but only if each individual reaches out with and for open mindfulness, with a yearn to learn, to see outside what you think you know, to grow and find enlightenment. We have to find common ground with those who see their opinions differently from our own and find a better way to be better to one another. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I'm A.O. Xander.
Golden Loon.
And UVRU, thank you so much for coming in and watching us. And until you catch us next time, whenever it is, wherever it is, don't forget to look right and left at